we tend to, with the Old Testament, take selective Bible verses out of context.
Right.
And some of those, of course, like the Jeremiah, that God has plans for us for good. There's some good wonderful passages. But then we can also take passages like Deuteronomy 28 and the blessings of kind of prosperity, which was under the Mosaic covenant. And we don't even sort of think through, where are we in terms of the covenants, and how does that fit with the new covenant and with Jesus who went to the cross, right? How does that impact this storyline? But we just take the Bible verses, and again, there's some very popular books out there that say you just have to declare it or just have to claim it, and assuming that somehow our words are like Genesis 1 words of creation. I'm like, I don't think so. But we wrongly take the passages because we don't know where they fit in with the biblical story. Right. And then we wrongly apply them. So that's what I think, setting that larger narrative context is very helpful for people.
Right.
And then they can then do their own study of individual books, but it's setting it in a larger redemptive context.
Well, you bring up a really good point, and this is something that I've talked about before on the channel with other guests, is when the idea of that we can speak things into being, and it gets carried to extreme. The tongue is powerful. The tongue creates life and death. And metaphorically speaking, your tongue, I mean, I think Esau McCulley, he said in a recent video, he's like, I've had my whole day ruined by something I read on the internet about me. Words can really ruin our day. Words can cause damage. But where that gets taken to excess is what you just said, when people are told, oh, just declare and decree certain things. And I've always thought, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree or want to nuance it, to me, that's magic. That's what in the ancient world, that's what magic did. Incantations were saying the right words, knowing the right name to call the god to get them to respond. It just seems pagan. Am I off, or would you?
Yeah, I would say it's false teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And the danger is it sounds Christian. That's the danger.
Right.
The danger is it sounds Christian, and there's a Bible verse, and what's wrong with quoting the Bible verse? And, Deuteronomy 28, God's going to bless you with increase, and, or you're going to be the head and not the tail. You need to claim that. You're going to be the head and not the tail. Well, what difference does it make that Jesus was crucified? And what difference does it make that we are called to take up our cross daily? That sounds like we're being called to be the tail, not the head. So we have to think through theologically how these passages relate. God's word is effective. Absolutely. Right. And he's the one that is bringing things to pass in accordance with his will. We're always to pray. We're always to ask him, but it is according to his will and his purpose. And of course, what happens with this blessings and these things you have to proclaim, no one takes the curses. They just take the blessings. So it's very selective.
That's true. That's true. The Jeremiah passage is always fun when people quote that. But, I know the plans I have for you, and they always stop before the idea of well, this is going to be captivity for the rest of your life, and your children are going to grow up in a foreign land. And I'm always like, oh, finish reading it. If we're going to claim these promises, we got to claim the whole promise.
Yeah, that's right. So we're very selective, cafeteria style.
Yes, exactly.